Alex Pritchard informed the club that he was no longer available for selection, and he subsequently withdrew from today's matchday squad. The midfielder also expressed his desire to leave Sunderland with immediate effect. What about this? So 1:52 p.m., so 8 minutes before teams were announced, Sam, and you can tell me your thought on that specific timing. Sunderland tweeted and released on their website a statement about their number 10, a sort of attacking midfielder, Alex Pritchard, that said the following, Sam. On Friday morning, Alex Pritchard informed the club that he was no longer available for selection, and he subsequently withdrew from today's matchday squad. The midfielder also expressed his desire to leave Sunderland with immediate effect. The club will be making no further comment at this moment in time. Now, you're going to have to stand up for footballers here, Sam, because I'm a civilian and you're a footballer. And all the civilian people are going to be saying, Sam, if I just refuse to show up to work, not only do I not get paid, but I'm not going to get a job elsewhere, or a reference or anything like that. What on earth do you make of this from Alex Pritchard?
Yeah, a bit surprised, kind of at the stage of his career that he's at. You'd think this type of thing possibly would happen in your earlier years when you're ill-advised or you're a little bit spontaneous, a little bit emotional. I've probably been guilty of kind of getting towards that stage, but never probably taking the plunge. I wouldn't have been brave enough. And ultimately, there's probably something inside me that says, do you know what? While you're still here, and this is probably something that was told to me by a coach when I was younger, while you're still at a club or whatever, every time you step over the white line, you never know who's going to be watching. That was my kind of mindset. Try and, dedicate yourself as best as you can and try to always be a good example. So I would say, in my opinion, I'd probably say he's maybe got this one slightly wrong. That said, it sounds like in the summer, this could have been resolved last summer, whether it was, I don't know, a year's extension with the possibility of a...
Is that the issue? Is it a contract thing?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. So I think he had the opportunity to move in the summer or whatever, and he's not been happy with what's on the table, if there is something on the table. So I think he's reached this stage where obviously various suitors are offering him the opportunity of a longer contract and better salary. And I wouldn't say it's turned his head. It's the reality of the situation when you're an experienced player. I suppose it's a bit like Chelsea when they stopped. I haven't got Alex Pritchard's date of birth in front of me, but I would suggest he's the tail end of his 20s or his early 30s. Is he not? And a bit like them when they stopped offering the lads that were the wrong side of 30 longer than 1 year. So it's probably a bit of a similar mindset to that going on at Sunderland at the moment, given the youth of their squad. And the reality is there'll be plenty of teams across the country that will give him 2 or 3 years. Probably Birmingham City being the obvious one with Tony Mowbray being the manager. So I think it's that going on. And I suppose the worry of injury probably comes into it. He's probably thinking, well, am I going to go and, give 100% for this lot who aren't going to give me that extra 2 or 3 grand a week or whatever he's thinking that he warrants. If there's an opportunity for me to move and safeguard my family's future for the next 2 or 3 years. So difficult one, but yeah, it wouldn't have been for me, but we don't know the conversation. That's the other thing. We don't know how bad a fallout it's been, how much of a mess it's caused over the last few days. He could have had a Barney. We don't know. I think the Sunderland fans have absolutely been talking about his body language the last couple of games. I think at Portman Road, he had a bit of an exchange with
didn't he?
Bill.
Yeah, when he got subbed off. That's a great point.
So there you go. So something's not been quite right there. So maybe it's just been on the brink.
Just quickly, Sam, on how Sunderland handled it. Was there I suppose you can argue, well, if they're telling the truth of what happened and people are going to want to know why he's not in the match day squad, would there have been a less incendiary way of dealing with this? Could it have been swept under the carpet, or is that not incumbent on them to do that, given he's just essentially refusing to go to work?
I don't know. I suppose I don't know what's your opinion. I suppose stopping the gossip on the match day would be, one of the reasons
The
for
players
putting
that
that
are
out there.
playing, yeah.
Yeah, stopping the questions that inevitably would have come afterwards from the press, stopping the conversations around the ground amongst the supporters. But I don't know. Do you think they've thrown him under the bus a little bit with that statement and said, "Oh, that's him. That's what he's done. Nothing to do with us." Gov.
Well, whether you think they've thrown him under the bus or not, they could have not done it that way, could they? And again, I'm sure we'll get comments saying, no, if he's behaving in that manner and they're telling the truth. But Sam, in terms of management and soft people skills and working with people, that sometimes you don't just blurt out the truth. You manage the situation. And I don't know, that felt more like a Monday morning at 9 a.m. tweet than a 10 minutes before kickoff. But they won the game 3-1, didn't they? So it worked out. Listen,
he seems Mick Beale seems to like Bellingham, doesn't he? In one of those advanced midfield positions or as a number 10. And I think Ekwa got a little bit more involved in the attacking play at the weekend as well. So it's where he fits currently, I suppose. He's been a really good player for Sunderland now, hasn't he? When you think of how good he was.
Promotion as well, yeah.
Think about how good he was kind of his first little spells away from, I think he come for at Tottenham, didn't he? I think everyone had enormous high hopes for him, and he lost his way a little bit a few years ago, definitely. So he's definitely regained his kind of star quality and his ability to deliver and score the odd spectacular goal. So I'm sure he's going to get himself a nice move. But yeah, shame, 100% a shame, because he always struck me as someone that the fans really took to up there.